Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. I am Lynn with Plasma Energy Solution, and today is December 3rd, 2020. We have a website, it's plasmaenergysolution.com, and I'd recommend that you might want to go and read what this month's special is and take advantage of it. It's something in honor of Dr. Paul's study and persistence and thinking outside of the box and everything he did to bring us the plasma energy. So thank you for taking the time to look at that. Now, for those of you that have already got the plasma energy station, and that was the very first thing we came out with, there are a lot of ways to do this station, and I'm just showing you something I set up last summer that's I just got this at the hardware store. It's something you would take on picnics, but it's handy because you've got the spigot on it. And then what I've done is I've added a few more things to our plasma energy products. So you can see I've just taped some of them on the side here. And then there are also, I think there's a couple inside too. So you don't have to make this complicated. The most important thing you're going to do with this is you're going to use filtered or distilled water. Now, I've also said you could use spring water, but I really need to clarify that for you. It is not the spring water that comes in gallon jugs at the grocery store. A lot of that is just fancy labeled tap water. When I say spring water, I'm talking about a mountain spring that comes out of the side of the mountain. I'm talking about a really fresh source of water. So be sure you understand that about the spring water. And your tap water is not going to be the best quality water you could use because of all the additives to it. Remember that we're over 70% water. What does that mean? That means that whatever we add to ourselves, we want to have carrying good intention in it and high quality. When we're drinking tap water that's been filled, the water treatment plants are dumping all kinds of chemicals in there that may or may not be beneficial for us. Then you have to kind of look and say, well, what was the intention behind that? So just remember, you can always add your own intention to whatever plasma energy products you have. It's also an important time to focus on things like this. Again, this is intention. And right now we need to add to what is appearing to be short supply. So, and I'm just showing you, I have station water on hand and use this for a variety of things. I can spray plants with this. I can even, it's at my desk, I can spray myself with it. Another one I like to keep handy is this one. And I will remind you that I've now come out not only with the virus relief came out earlier, but recently I came out with one that's called 2020 Plus, and you're going to want to go in and look to see what the additions are to that. It's from research that came out months after this one came out. So do take a look at that. Now, one of the things I do with this is when I'm going out, if I got to wear one of these things somewhere that I'm going, so you see this just hooks over the ear and yada, 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 right? And I'll just spray some of this on it. And so those are some of the just immediate uses. I want to remind you too, I'm seeing a lot of things about the possibility of some food shortages. Remember, when you're drinking copious amounts of the plasma energy station water, you're not going to be as hungry. You're not going to have to eat as much. So when you get that little signal that says I'm hungry, a lot of times your body is saying I'm thirsty. So give your body a drink of water and then see how that works for you. Use this when you're cooking. Use it in your soups, your stews, your tea, your coffee, anything that calls for water in the recipe or in the cooking. You want to use your Plasma Energy Station water for that. And then I just want to share something that I came across. I thought it was a very interesting story, and it's very short. There was once a man who died and was being taken to heaven by the angels. The angels said to him, "We're going to take you to heaven, but first we have to show you hell." The angels then took him to a place where there was a great bowl, so great that it was as big as a lake. The bowl was filled with nutritious stew. All the way around this bowl there were people. They were emaciated, starving, miserable people. These people had spoons to eat the stew with, and the spoons were long enough to reach the stew out about 12 feet into the bowl that was as big as a lake. The trouble was, while they could scoop up the stew into the spoon, they could not get it into their mouths because the spoons were too long. Yeah, imagine 12 feet and you're trying to, your arms aren't long enough. That's the issue. So here were all these pathetic people suffering, moaning in agony, constantly trying to eat the food that was absolutely in front of them, in abundance. And it was all in vain. Next, the angels took the man to heaven. To his surprise, he saw the same scene. Here was a giant lake-like bowl filled with stew, and it was surrounded with people with 12-foot-long spoons. Yet something was different here. All these people were smiling, happy, and healthy-looking. Why? What was the difference? Here, that was different from the people he had just seen. Have your eyes not seen? The man looked over carefully and observed one person would scoop up the stew and bring it to the mouth of another person. Then someone would scoop up the stew and feed it to the other person. The angel smiled and said, "The people feed each other here. Here are the people that learned the way of love." I think that gives us a lot of food for thought, especially when we're in a seemingly time where there's just a lot of me, and yet what happens if we just take a look and say, how can we be cooperative? How can we take the example of the 12-foot spoon and feed it to others? So in this example, I hope that if some of you have received a free vial of this recently, that you're going to share it with others. It's so important that we get this intention out there. And share what you have. It's so easy. As you see, I think you can see them. Well, maybe you can. Floating at the very top here there's some vials right under the lid. And then, like I said, there's the ones that I put on the side. So all you have to do is get a simple container. Now, this is blue tinted. It's okay if you can see into it. Translucent is fine. You just don't want solid metal or solid crockery. So please do love one another, be kind to one another, and think about the example that you've just been given. Is your 12-foot long spoon feeding others, and are theirs feeding you? Or is everybody sitting there with their 12-foot long spoon in total frustration? I think it's a great lesson for our time right now. Okay, be sure to look up our website, plasmaenergysolution.com. If you've liked this video, give me a thumbs up, and please do share it with your friends. And most of all, if you have plasma energy, share it with those around you. All right. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.